Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, November 5th. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you so much for joining with us again this week. Before I get rolling on the week's news and ongoing events and so forth, let me remind you that today at 1 o'clock we will be hosting our annual meeting. This is going to be a virtual telephone town hall event. It's the same system now that we've been using since about March of 2020. The number for you to call is contained in the newsletter. We've been publishing this in every edition of The Voice, and it's a toll-free number. All you need to do is call it at the time of the meeting. So at 1 o'clock, dial in, and you can listen in to what we're talking about. If you have a question, press 0. That way you can participate in the meeting. The other way that you can participate is by receiving an automated phone call from us at the time of the meeting. So if we have your telephone number on file, at 1 o'clock today, you're going to get a recorded call from me. All you need to do is pick up the phone, answer it, stay on the line, and you're going to be automatically connected to the meeting. Now, we're going to spend about the first half of the meeting, so about 30 minutes, talking about what's going on here at Mass Retirees, a little tongue-tied there. Talking about what we're focused on over the next 6 to 12 months, and a lot of this are things that we've been talking about in the newsletter, but we're going to expand on those topics a little bit. I also have a brand new update on the windfall elimination provision to share. And I'm not going to get into the details here. I'm saving it for this afternoon's meeting. If for some reason you can't participate in today's meeting, we're also going to update our website, massretirees.com, later this afternoon with a breaking news piece on this new information. And it's relative to another bill filed this week in the House of Representatives relative to reform of the windfall elimination provision. This is the second new bill over the past week that's been filed on this various topic. I talked about Representative Larson's legislation last week, got a lot of positive feedback from people, but we'll be talking in depth this afternoon about this, taking your questions, and talking about what we're doing and what you can do now to try to get Congress to act on producing some type of legislation this session that's going to provide relief for everybody. So beyond that, and the one other thing I want to add about today's meeting, really two more things. One, the duration of the meeting is going to last roughly an hour. We're going to spend as much time as we need to answer as many questions from all of you as we can. But we want to keep it to more or less an hour. And for those of you who either ask a question during the meeting or are still present, participating in the meeting when we wrap things up after an hour or so, you're going to be eligible to receive a door prize. Now, traditionally at our meetings, we've always drawn names out of the hat. If you've been to one of the Mass Retirees meetings in the past, you know that in the past we drew names for Watson's chocolates, which delicious gourmet chocolates, made in the town of Walpole, at Watson's, or various, gift cards to Macy's or other places, or even Red Sox and Patriots tickets, from time to time. Unfortunately, because of COVID and needing to do these events virtually, we haven't had any of those kinds of drawings. And Frank Valeri came up with a great idea of let's try to integrate into today's event some type of a door prize. So what we're going to do at the end of the meeting, we're going to have a list that's provided to us from Teletown Hall of everyone who participated, everybody who answered a question, and the length of time people were on. And for people who asked questions or folks who are still on and gave us their full attention for that hour, we're going to pick 10 names from that list. Each of you is going to get a Stop and Shop gift card. Groceries is something that is universal. All of us eat, so all of us shop, and Stop and Shop now is a national brand. It's not just located here in Massachusetts. As a matter of fact, we just looked them up, and they have multiple locations throughout the state of Florida at this point. So it seemed like a pretty good bet for us to focus on this and provide a little bit of a thank you to all of you for participating. Now, in terms of other activities going on, November traditionally launches our annual membership drive. And what I mean by that is this month we are beginning the dues renewal process for 2022. So the bulk of our members renew their membership with us every November. So if you're someone who always gets the dues notice in November, be on the lookout for it. It's being mailed early next week. And in addition to asking that you join with us again for 2022, and I certainly hope that you do, we deeply value our membership. We have a very strong, very robust and dedicated membership. You are fantastic, and I really hope that you'll continue to see value of being a Mass Retirees member and that you re-up with us for 2022. In addition to asking you to renew, we're also providing some information to you within the dues package. One of the things that we're asking for from you, in addition to you renewing your dues, is to make sure that we have your email address and your telephone number on file. Now, if you're seeing this video via the email that I send out every Friday, obviously we have your email address, but we might not necessarily have your phone number. So if you're not getting those automated Teletown Hall phone calls from us, that probably means it's because we don't have your phone number. Now, I want to point out, we don't sell or share any of this information with any outside organizations. We promise you, we're not going to do that. We've never done that. We never will do that. It's private information. You've entrusted us with that information, and it's strictly for us to be able to communicate with you. Now, every Friday, for the most part, I send out an email that contains one of these videos. It's a great way for us to communicate and keep you up to date on exactly what's going on with your pension, with your health insurance, with Social Security, with all this legislation that we're working on. And it's a way to make sure you're not missing out on anything. We don't want our members to miss a beat. We want you to be well informed. We want you to be engaged. We want to make sure that we can always get out in front of any issues that are coming down the road, in particular with healthcare. It's a very volatile time for healthcare. Things are stable right now, but we are anticipating some changes coming down the road, and that's why we're going to be putting so much of a focus on healthcare. But it's very important that we have the ability to communicate directly with you in a rapid fashion. As much as the work that we put into the newsletter and the focus that goes into the newsletter is really our bread and butter, so to speak, but that only comes out 6 times a year. And there's a lot of news happening more than 6 times a year. So the ability to communicate with you every week. So as part of your membership package this year, you'll notice that there's a little form on the back of the slip. If your phone number has changed or if you don't think we have it on file, please just give, jot it down. Again, we're not going to give it out or sell it. We're not going to abuse it in any way. I think getting 1 or 2 emails from us a week is about enough. Usually it's just 1, but we want the ability to be able to communicate with you. Lastly, I want to wish all of our members who are veterans a happy Veterans Day. Veterans and military service have always been a cornerstone of the work that we do here at Mass Retirees. As a matter of fact, this association was founded by veterans, and the part of Ralph White, our founder, he is a decorated Marine Corps veteran from the Korean War. Happy birthday to all of the Marines out there. I know that the Marine Corps birthday is celebrated on Veterans Day on November 11th. So on behalf of all of us here at Mass Retirees, thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication to this country, as both in terms of your military service as well as your public service once you came home here to Massachusetts. So with that, I'm going to sign off for today. If you're available this afternoon, please take a few minutes. If you can, take the full hour, participate in our annual meeting. We're going to keep it informative. We want to hear from you. If you have questions or comments, let's hear it. Tune in next week. Next week's episode will focus on healthcare to help prep and prepare for the Teletown Hall meeting that we're having on November 19th with the Group Insurance Commission. GIC Executive Director Matt Vino will be our guest for the full hour. He is very much looking forward to hearing directly from our members, hearing your comments, answering your questions, and getting as much information as he can to help inform his decision-making process as the GIC moves forward in 2022 with both their RFP as well as the final process when they're selecting the new vendors. So again, thank you so much, and we will talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.